Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. It's Saturday here in Australia. As you can see, I've spruced up the table a little bit with a red and green Christmas theme. I'm a bit of a kid at heart. We're madly getting ready here for Christmas now in this household. I was up late wrapping presents last night, and it'll be a full day of cooking, Christmas cake cooking, and other preparations in front of our family Christmas here in Australia. So Merry Christmas everyone, and a Happy New Year. I look forward to 2019 as a year when Trump and everything he stands for is gone, and we actually have new beginnings. The Ace of Wands, new inspiration, new creativity, new beginnings. After the reading yesterday on Trump pulling out troops from Syria, and I think again that applies also to Afghanistan, there were a couple of things I just want to mention before I proceed into today's reading. Yesterday's reading showed that the decision that Trump took was not entirely on his own. He wasn't being advised by his own people, it was someone else. The natural inclination was to assume that that was Putin. I didn't actually feel directly it was Putin, although possibly, as I said yesterday, this benefited Putin, and Trump knows. As it's turned out, the Turkish president, Trump reacted after a phone call to Turkey's president. So that's what I was picking up yesterday in the cards, that there was someone else involved, but not overtly Putin, but obviously this would benefit Putin. I want to take that a little bit further today, but I want to do something else first. I want to look at, I've had several requests from viewers about Trump's health. What's his mental health like? Is he abusing drugs? And, the inevitable question, who's in control? Is anyone in control? And then I want to look at, after that phone call with the Turkish president, did Trump pull those troops, or was the decision to pull those troops out in order to protect Jared Kushner in some way? Because that's my feeling that I'm getting. So let's start, because we've got a bit to get through as usual. Let's start with Trump's health. Is he abusing drugs? Let's see. Let me see if I can see what I'm picking up. Okay, Trump. I see that he's pacing. He's pacing a lot. Up and down and up and down. Demanding things happen when his power is limited, or is being limited. He's continuing. It's sort of like he's falling back on second-rate actors, if you like. If you think about a B-grade movie, an A-grade movie will have all the Hollywood's best names. B-grade movie will have pretty much unknowns. This is who he's falling back on, because all the quality staff have deserted him. Is he abusing drugs? Okay, I'm getting like a pink substance. I'm not sure what that is if that's a prescription medication for him, but he is taking something. Obviously at his age, you're obviously on set medications, or you can be on set medications for various illnesses. Yeah, what I can tell you is that mentally he's frayed around the edges. He's extremely worried about the Mueller investigation. It's almost like I'm getting the image of a sword piercing a coffin, basically. It's almost like it's a nail. It's more than a nail in his coffin. It's a sword in his coffin. So he's sensing endings for him. And I'm just getting like this pink sort of substance or pink something coming forward, because it's actually helping him. I guess it's helping him deal with the blow, if you like, because it is a blow for him. Now, so in answer to those questions, he's frayed. Mentally, he's frayed around the edges. He's consulting B-grade advisors, B-grade personnel, B-grade actors. Potentially, he's been given some kind of medication, whether it's prescription or otherwise. Perhaps, okay? I'm not going to say that for sure. These are only tarot cards. We're not medical practitioners. And is he in control? He has less control than what we think he has. I want to get on to something a bit later on in this reading, but for now, let's go with that. What is Trump's mental health? Physical health? Well, let's concentrate on his mental health. That's more of a worry. What is his mental health like? What is Trump's mental health like? Is he mentally healthy? Is Trump mentally healthy? No, he's suffering under delusions, okay? It is the delusions of power that he no longer has, okay? It's slipping away from him, but he still thinks he has power. And when he consults these B-grade actors, he's, it's like anything. It's like in his desperation, he still believes that it was power that he never had in the first place, okay? It was always an illusion of power. So, he's becoming quite nostalgic. He's in his dilemma, if you like. He's hankering for happier times. Some people read this as, as Mar-a-Lago. This is, him at his best. So this is really the illusion that he's under. But really, he's struggling. This is the Ten of Wands. You can see the Quirion has got a heavy load to pull. And he really doesn't know where he's going because his load is so heavy. Some of it's slipping away from him, in danger of being dropped. He really is confused, okay? That's the energy that I'm getting off that card. And it's endings for him. I mean, the eyes of the world are on him. There is tremendous pressure now to get rid of Donald Trump. This is where I wanted to go with this. Perhaps in a separate reading, but I'll just mention this. One of my viewers sent me I guess it's a news story or a Facebook post on Robert Reich, a former minister in Bill Clinton's cabinet. And he was talking to his friends in Congress, and this really bears out. I did a reading on how long will the GOP support Trump, and what that reading said is they're really wanting to turn away from him now, but they're going to wait until Mueller brings out his big guns. And this is what Robert Reich was saying, that his friends in Congress, his Republican contacts, are saying they think Trump is poisonous, they think he's dangerous, they would impeach him now if they could. His base is also slipping away, but the deciding factor for the GOP is that the moneyed elite, their donors, are saying, we've had the disastrous tariff war. The economy is turning. The stock market has crashed. We're heading for a recession. Get this lunatic out of the White House. So they're now waiting for the Mueller report. And you can always read between the lines. When I saw that Senator Collins interview, pretty much this is what she was saying. She was saying, let's wait and see what Mueller brings forward. In other words, the Mueller report will be an excuse to get rid of him and bring Pence forward. Now, Pence has his own problems, so we've already talked about that. We can read on that again. But getting back to Donald Trump's mental health, this is the world, including the Republican donors, the Republicans themselves, alliances, US alliances around the world. they're looking now. They know that the game's over for Donald Trump, and they're going, how long is it going to take for them to remove him? He knows that, right? He knows that, and this is potentially why his mental health is sort of on the downturn, and potentially we'll ask in a separate pool whether he's abusing drugs, and he's hankering for the olden days. You know, the Mar-a-Lago days, you know, when he was supposedly top of his game. But remember, it's all an illusion. America, not all Americans, but a significant Republican base elected an illusion of a president. We all knew that. They didn't know it. What is really causing him a great deal of difficulty, this is the Hierophant card. And this is the courts, okay? This is the Mueller investigation. It's the courts. It's more than Mueller. And again, these readings are bearing this out that I've been doing for a while. They hold the keys. In this card, there are 2 keys here across the Hierophant's heart. They hold the keys to Donald Trump's future. He knows that his time's up, okay? It's a very interesting card, this one. It's almost like a karmic card. This is all almost written in the stars, so the astrologers will have all this this timing, because it is a question of timing. Donald Trump's time is up, and he knows it. And he's really conflicted. This is the 2 of Swords, and you know, he's got so much weighing upon him that he's got this blindfold on here. He's escaping into the murky waters of some sort of depths of emotion. It's very cloudy emotion as well. I felt in the last 24, 48 hours that really he is becoming a danger to the world. We've got the moon here. He's not stable mentally. His emotions are dragging him down, and he's disillusioned. It's almost like he's as I said, with this blindfold. He's operating in a world of illusion. Or delusion, I should say. And this is sort of like divine discontent. This 4 of Cups mirroring endings and new beginnings that don't include Donald Trump. He knows that, you know, they're coming for him, and he will lose the presidency eventually. But he's still desperate enough to think and hope that he's going to hold on. But it's an illusion. It really is. In his mind, it's an illusion. And he knows, without a doubt, that the courts, the investigations are going to illuminate his wrongdoing. And, yeah, the more he kind of gets that feeling and those thoughts, the more he wants to escape to better and happier times. He really wants to go back to how everything was before all of this started. And this illusion, the blindfold that he's got on, he's defending. This is all about defending, the 7 of Wands, all about defending himself and trying to protect against competition. Now, I see this as the Republicans. That's who he's worried about most. He's worried that the Republicans will, that senators and those in the House, he knows that their loyalty and their support is ebbing away. It's been a downward spiral for him since he lost the House in the midterms. That's why he retreated mentally into himself, because he knew that the knives were out. And this is a bit like Caesar, okay, and the senators where Caesar was murdered. It's a bit like that. The Republicans are coming at him with the knives, and he knows it. And this is really a lot of what his mental anguish is about. He hates disloyalty, and it throws him into this vindictive, where he comes forward with these vindictive plans which are designed to suppress or ruin people, because he's a dirty fighter. But he can't do that now. So he's got the blindfold on. As I said at the beginning of this reading, his power is it's gone. Well, it's not gone because he's still the president of the United States. But his support and loyalty, there wasn't ever any loyalty, I guess, to begin with, but his support is gone. In terms of, we asked about his mental, where he's at. He's fearing this. If you look at this chariot, okay, if you think about in Roman times what the charioteers did, it was a battle, and this chariot has got a winged divinity about it. It's almost like the hounds of hell. I mean, there isn't a hell aspect to this card, quite the opposite. But for him, right, he sees this as they're coming for him. They're coming for him, okay? And there's not a lot that he can do. So mentally, he's operating. He's fearful. He knows that it's coming. He knows there's not much he can do to stop this illumination of of what has gone on in his past life, including around the election and in the White House. He's operating still around this illusion. And the B-grade actors, if you like, that are surrounding him, they're feeding this illusion. They can't help not feed it because he's still the president of the United States. But even they are getting very, very worried. Okay, now don't forget the GOP are waiting for Mueller to strike, which will give them an excuse to impeach Donald Trump or take a deal to him, which was what my intuition was telling me. In front of an impeachment or during an impeachment, take a deal to him and say, step down, we'll pardon you, whatever the deal is. There's some sort of deal that they will offer him in the future. Now, specifically around abuse of drugs, as I said, I got this sort of like it's a pink medicine or something that he's taking, and it takes it at night, I think. Why would he take it at night? I just see him in front of his vanity mirror. Or he's in his bathrobe anyway. It could be he takes it in the morning as well. All right, is Trump abusing drugs? Is Trump abusing drugs? Trump abusing drugs. Trump abusing drugs. Yeah, I'm getting the image of the Fool. If you think about the Fool card, it's the Fool is poised on the cliff, and he's one step and he's about to fall over the cliff. It's almost like whatever he's doing, it's taking him to the edge of a cliff. Is Trump abusing drugs? Yeah, and it also, it's like he's retreating too into himself when he does this. Okay, here is the card of the Nine of Cups, and there is an illusion aspect to this. Sometimes the Nine of Cups, it's like material sort of abundance, but it's sort of like wishes and hopes. So it's again this, everything's all right, everything's going to be fine. I'm the best, I'm happy, I can do this, I'm still in control, I'm the most powerful man in the world, look at all I've got, look at who I am. This is, and also there's a fairly strong image of a woman coming here as well. It kind of makes me wonder whether or not he's actually having an affairs while he is the president. Of course he is. That's what I got. Okay, so not only are there potentially some kind of medication or substance coming forward there, but there's also affairs as well. And this again, remember the image that I got, that this is his fear, that the sword of truth, and we've got the eagles here in sword coming up, from troubled skies. And we've got the eagles here, and there are buildings, or looks like, well, there's not, but that was my impression. There's something to do with New York. Okay, there's something to do with New York in this card, because this is what he's fearing. Okay, so the medication is balancing out these fears that he's going through. Queen of Wands. Now this is confidence and self-assurance. It's almost like these illusions that potentially this medication is also giving him confidence, taking away his fear and giving him confidence. It's sort of almost like, caring for him, nurturing him. It's making him more stable, and it's taking the edge off his disappointment. Look at the cups here. So potentially medications work on the emotions, okay? They soothe the emotions. And again, the eyes of the world. These cards came up in the last reading. Sword of truth, endings. Okay, so it's subduing his fears. And here's the blindfold again. The multiple forces and the blindfold. Okay. Russia, the Russian investigation. I asked, was he abusing drugs? This reading is telling me that he could well be. And for the reasons that I've outlined in this reading. But, it's a spectacular downfall for Donald Trump. But one that was earned. He earned his own downfall. He's worked hard at this. All right. So if Donald Trump is mentally frayed, if potentially he's being medicated to alleviate his fears, to give him more stability, to give him more confidence, who's in control at the White House? Let's have a look. All right. So, okay. Are those people around Donald Trump helping to control him, helping to keep him stable? Have we still got control in the White House? Because there's a very reckless decision this week regarding Syria. Very reckless. So, who's in control? Have we still got control in the White House? Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting lots of backroom chatter, lots of chatter, I guess. Is that how it's between Trump's immediate circle, potentially John Kelly and Mike Pence, and Mike Pence's office, okay? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. And they're worried. It's escalating. That chatter is back and forth, back and forth. Okay, who's in control at the White House? Is anyone in control? Are those around Donald Trump managing him? He's aware that the loyalty. Okay, so there is support there in the White House for security. For the country's security. We see Donald Trump. We see his recklessness. But bear in mind, there are still those mechanisms there within the White House that are trying to control him. And the Three of Swords, it's like this heartbreak and loss. They're keeping the illusion alive for him. Okay, so they're feeding his ego all the time as a way of controlling him. But they too were worried about justice coming for them. So it's not just a matter of keeping, babysitting Trump. They're actually all worried that, they'll be caught up in all of this as well, in any investigations. And it's telling me they will, okay? They absolutely will, because justice can see. Justice is all-seeing. And she's balancing those scales. Okay, so in relation to this support around Donald Trump, it is very much emotional support, okay? Because this is relationships, and they're buoying. You can see all the water here. They're buoying Donald Trump's emotions. Okay, and in relation to trying to keep him up on the up, this card is around self-defense. Okay, so. But it's telling me that they're not necessarily loyal to him. These could be the part of the knives that are out for Donald Trump. Okay, and again, this card came up before, the Ten of Wands and the hard work, but things are slipping, okay? It's hard work for them. This reading is telling me that there are people in control. That's what I asked for. Then it's telling me there are people still in control. They are trying to keep him up. They're feeding the illusion, his own delusions. They're worried too about justice coming for them. But the thing is that they could be part of Donald Trump's downfall. It's almost as if they are a part of the knives that are coming for him as well. So I asked this question, this Pence's office came forward very strongly in this particular spread. So it could be that while Pence is on the outer face of it, supporting Donald Trump, on the inner he's betraying him, and probably has done for a long time. Now, in relation, one last question, because I like to get things in that have been coming up in the viewers' comments. I have to say I can't read on everything. I just physically haven't got that energy all the time. So I'm a bit of a try hard, but I do try. Someone asked if that phone call from Turkey, did he pull those troops out to protect Jared Kushner and Kushner's relationship and potentially with the Saudis, the monetary, okay? We talked about loans and debts. Kushner has borrowed money, or was bailed out money by the Saudis. He's also tried to cover for the Crown Prince in the Khashoggi murder. As we know, the Turkish president had evidence, had a tape on file, if you like, from the embassy of the Khashoggi murder. The Turkey had intelligence there, and I honestly, Turkey was a few steps in front. Okay, that's my feeling on this. Did Trump pull out those troops to cover for Kushner? Okay, and the Saudis, and potentially his own relationships there, potentially Ivanka's as well. So did Trump pull out the troops to cover for Kushner and his children, and the relationships with the Saudis? Okay, yes, no. Okay, so somebody's had him strung him up by the ankles here. He was this was a sacrifice in some way. Okay, so there's a sacrificial element to this. I'll do this in order to save somebody else, and potentially the truth to stop the truth from coming out. And to balance, okay, so tit for tat, I'll give you something if you give me something. And this came up, one of the viewers suggested this card came up yesterday. It's looking pretty much like there was something there. Okay, in relation to someone had this sacrificial, someone had him had him strung up by the ankles. He was afraid that judgment then would come down upon either Kushner or his family or himself, And look, this person had the upper hand. This is the Six of Wands. This is the victory card. Somebody had the upper hand, and why? Because they had the truth. They had access to the truth. And Donald Trump was forced to give in and retreat. Okay, now this retreat card came up before. My feeling, I know Lindsey Graham, I have no time for Lindsey Graham, but he is going to raise the withdrawal of the troops in Congress, in the Senate. So, you know, the question is, will Donald Trump delay it? Will he put some conditions around it to try and keep the Congress happy? We've got to wait and see. So there's that aspect to this card as well. But this was also Donald Trump backing down. I'll give you this if you give me that. Okay, so he was forced. Someone said the other day he's not the great deal maker. He's actually a very poor deal maker, and he always takes a lesser position in the end. He wanted $20 billion originally. Schumer offered him that in return for the Dreamers, the freedom for the Dreamers, and he refused that in the beginning. Now he wants $5 billion. So not really a good deal maker. And this is what this is saying here. He's actually on the ropes. And look, the card of anxiety, grief and anxiety around it. Yeah, I'm having to think that there was something here. Absolutely, yeah. It was around the relationships between Kushner, the Saudis, potentially his children, and you know what, this background of the Khashoggi murder. Yeah, and again this loss there. So there was potentially some sort of loss there for him. Okay, so in some way he was on the ropes, if you like. He was on the ropes with Turkey. And he had other reasons for making that deal, if you like, and it potentially had to do with the truth coming out. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I guess the big takeaway from all of this is there is still control in the White House. It's probably coming from Pence's office and Pence's advisors, and also those around Trump. If you think of someone mentally frayed, potentially medicated, he is still being fed. His ego is still being fed, but it's sort of like babysitting, really. It's like keep the toddler happy. And there's an increasing backroom chatter going on now between Pence, between some of Trump's, possibly Kelly, some of those people around him still. Kelly hasn't left yet. Could even be Mulvaney, because Trump knows that the Republicans are likely to turn on him. He's already aware of that. There are still control mechanisms. It'd be interesting to see now what the Senate or what the Congress does with the withdrawal of troops from Syria. Are they going to pass a resolution? Are they going to now talk about if they are going to pull troops out, we want a planned withdrawal? Let's see what happens. There appears to be, in that phone call with Turkey, there appears to have been something else at play here, and it's almost he was forced into a bargaining position. He was put on the ropes by Turkey. So that's the reading for today. I'm hoping that over the next couple of days we can get back to our presidential candidates, but things have been happening fast and furiously. I still want to read on Cory Booker. The ones that I've already mentioned. So we'll get back to that in the next few days, and we'll see what those cards are showing. Thank you again for all your comments, viewers, and your support of the channel. And yeah, look, apart from obviously being worried about what's going on, my feeling is that there's still parents in the room, if that makes sense. even though we don't like them, even though it's Pence and those around him and the Republicans, they're all doing it for the wrong reasons, okay? They're all doing it because of their donors are panicked about Trump's recklessness and, you know, they've got their eye on 2020. They're all doing it for the, you know, they're not doing it for their country. They're doing it for themselves. But either way, Trump has got some sort of oversight now, and probably always has had, but potentially more so since probably, I think in 2018, he's had more oversight than he's ever had before. So we'll leave it there, and let's just take a break and get our mind onto getting ready for Christmas. You know, doing those things like making a Christmas cake, which is what I'm about to do. Okay, thank you, viewers.